I mean, you just heard what I just heard. She just denied that he was involved in the assault. She just said it on tape. But you have to keep in mind the situation that she's in while being recorded. You're also going to have to keep in mind the situation she's in the next recording where she says the exact opposite thing. And we're going to listen to that one right now. Man, I got a wild video for you guys today. So we got two massive stories coming on the back of two idiotic stories about this, this Ashley Parham thing that happened yesterday. Today, we got real stuff for you, okay? Because CNN is being accused of destroying the Cassie video. Okay, they had the only copy of the video. There was only one copy of this video. CNN obtained it. The defense is saying that they altered it. I mean, I don't know how you really are going to be able to say that. It was altered. It's like, I mean, I saw Diddy beating her up, But anyway, they're saying that CNN altered it and then destroyed the video. Okay, then destroyed the video. And guess what? We're going to go through that story, but then we're going to go through a much more salacious story, which is this one, okay? That Tony Busby, who is the one who is who was suing Jay-Z on the, for the 13-year-old and all that. So what happened, they filed that lawsuit against Jay-Z, Diddy, the girl, whatever. She went on MSNBC and she told this story that then ended up getting disproven. Well, guess what? Now, Jay-Z's team sent private investigators to her house. First of all, think about that, okay? She sent two private investigators. So two people show up on her doorstep and start questioning her about this case, and they get her recorded on tape saying that Jay-Z did nothing wrong. Okay, it's a recording that I'm going to play for you guys. And I'm also going to play for you guys a recorded phone call between her and Tony Busby, where Busby confronts her about this recording, and she denies having even said any of that. So there's a lot to go through. Like, you're going to listen to both of the recordings, and it's like, and we're going to try to make sense of all of it. But today we've actually got straight up video recordings. And first, we're going to talk about this video recording that, again, CNN is being accused of altering and then deleting. Now, depending on which side of the political aisle you are on, you may be aware of another case of CNN altering videos, which makes this, if you know about that, then this will be incredibly believable to you that they would do this, okay? So I am not trying to get into any kind of political anything. I mean, listen, dude, like if you follow my channel, very closely, you probably know I'm a centrist, okay? Like, I'm not a Democrat, I'm not a Republican, but there are certain topics I feel very strongly about. And one of them had to do with the virus because of things happening within my own family historically and medically, okay? So what happened with CNN during the pandemic was they got caught so Joe Rogan got the virus. He recorded himself saying that he got the virus and whatever, and it went on Instagram. He wasn't very sick, and he just said, here's what I did. CNN, when they reported on that, they took that video and they altered it to make him look more sick. They made his face look green. They altered the coloring. They got completely caught for this. Like, this wasn't even like, this is not like, go look it up, okay? Like, this absolutely happened. Just look at the CNN version versus the one that he posted. They altered it. They edited it to try to make it seem like he was more sick than he was. It was very, very disingenuous. That said, I don't know what that has to do with this. Like, I don't see how you would alter this to make it worse. You know what I mean? But we're going to go through this. But why would they have destroyed this video? That's a really interesting question to ask. And a question I would like to ask you is, if you're watching this video and have not subscribed to my channel, why? You know what I mean? It helps me out immensely. If you're watching me, you're like, if you're hate watching me, I understand. But if you enjoy the content that I'm doing, or you think that I'm a person working hard, you want to help me out, if you would subscribe, that would be very, very helpful. And if you would like the video, also very helpful. So I appreciate you guys, and let's jump right into it. All right, so CNN destroyed Cassie video defense claims, okay? Bombshell in the Diddy prosecution, CNN destroyed the only known copy of the 2016 video in which Diddy is seen beating Cassie in the hallway of an LA hotel. This according to new court documents. Diddy's defense team and prosecutors filed a joint letter about evidence in the case. According to the defense, CNN purchased the video showing Diddy attacking Cassie in the hallway of the Intercontinental Hotel in LA. The letter claims CNN purchased the only known copy of the hotel surveillance footage, uploaded that footage into a free editing software, altered the video, then destroyed the original footage, even though it, where'd that go? even though it knew about and repeatedly reported about the federal investigation. I mean, believe me, I would show this to you if I could, but it'll get demonetized and it'll get 18 plus because on video, Diddy beats he beats her. He beats her up. Okay. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, okay, I get it. Like if they destroyed the only copy, that's shady, but he beat her up on the video. What is the argument here? Now, I don't know why CNN would have done this aside from that they are very crooked and untrustworthy, a news source. Any news source that is editing footage to make it look better or worse before they release it is a source of information you cannot trust. It's as simple as that. I'm not saying anything good, bad, or otherwise about any news source except CNN, who I know has done this before, and apparently, I mean, I don't know if they did it here. But the thing about it in this case is like, bruh. So let me tell you what they said. Okay, the defense claims CNN altered and edited the footage by covering the timestamp, then changing the video sequence. That's interesting, actually. That is interesting, to make it look different, like they said. I mean, I guess because like the way that it's shown is she walks out, Diddy runs out, then he beats her up and then drags her back. I mean, who knows, right? Again, I don't see how the sequence of events would matter as it relates to they could have just showed the part where he knocks her down and kicks her, the end, and then drags her. Like the sequence of events is kind of irrelevant. It is just like, we can make it more sensational if we show it this way, which is dishonest. It's like, but nonetheless. It also includes speeding up the video to make it falsely appear that the actions in the video are taking place faster than they are. As a result, the CNN videos do not fairly and accurately depict the events in question. That's interesting. So if this was the only copy, okay, if this is the only copy of the tape, how would you know that they sped up the video? How would you know that they covered up the timestamp and changed the video sequence? How would you know that? They had the only copy of the tape, right? That's what you're saying. They had the only copy of the tape, and then they edited it, changed the sequence and all that. If you're saying, Diddy watched that tape 10,000 times and had it memorized, okay, then maybe. But otherwise, what are we talking about? Because something doesn't add up here. How do you know that they did that? How do you know? It's the only copy. Did someone at CNN, whistleblow? If that's the case, let's talk about it. But that's weird, As a result, the CNN video does not fairly and accurately depict the events in question. Now, what they should have said, if they really wanted to play that game, was there was some sort of violence on, that Cassie did or something. They cut out the part where Cassie, shot at Diddy with a gun or something. You know what I mean? Like, if you really want to make it compelling, tell me that, like, they cut out this part that would make it somewhat reasonable for him to knock her down, kick her, rip the bag away, and then drag her down the hall. Otherwise, who cares about what you're talking about, dude? So the defense makes it clear they will be filing a motion to exclude the video from Diddy's upcoming trial. There it is. Okay. So if they are, so this is so they say the reality is courts almost never admit video evidence where the video is edited. Judges insist on raw footage, so there's an extremely good chance this video will never be played to a jury. So again, just to be clear, okay, if you're asking yourself, why on earth would they be making this claim that they edited it and then destroyed the only copy, when obviously it has no effect whatsoever on the fact that he stomped on her, right? As you can see in the screenshot, this is him standing over her, getting ready to stomp on her. And you're like, what's the point of this motion? That's the point. Is if they can prove that CNN really did, in fact, deceptively edit this video and then destroy the only copy, then it can't be admitted into the trial. That's why the defense is doing this, really. All right, so let's move over to the main event here. We got this story on TMZ. Jane Doe heard on tape admitting that Jay-Z never graped her, says Tony Busby pushed her to sue him. Now, to say this is a big deal related to Tony Busby's career and this, lawsuit that they have in terms of defamation would be the understatement of the century. It's literally a recording of the plaintiff in the original lawsuit saying, Jay-Z didn't do anything. She's still, for the record, she's still saying that like Diddy did it or whatever, but just Jay-Z didn't do anything, which, if I'm going to be honest, pretty weird, dude. It's like a weird denial. Oh yeah, no, Jay-Z didn't do it. He was in fact there though. He just didn't do anything. And your people are scaring the shit out of me. You're in my house. You guys have my address? Hey, we're here with Jay-Z's team, and we just wanted to ask you a few questions. Did Jay-Z do anything? Like Jay-Z himself, did he do anything? Here's the recorder. Just speak clearly into the recorder. It's like, I mean, can we take that very seriously? This whole thing, like everything that comes out of this case is now in absurd land. You know what I mean? Like this is all like lunacy now, right? Like and then when you hear the other recording, it's Busby on the phone with her. He's like, "Did you really say that I told you to do this?" She's like, no, I never said that." Are we supposed to take that seriously? Like, are there any recordings where she's not being intimidated into saying what she's saying? You know what I mean? So let's just watch. We'll watch this because this has both of the recordings on it, and we will comment on both. All right, here we go.
This morning, the woman who said she was 13 when Sean Jay-Z Carter and Sean Diddy Combs sexually assaulted her after the 2000 MTV Video Music Awards is heard talking to private investigators about her claim and agreeing that Jay-Z did not assault her.
But Jay-Z you're saying he was definitely there? But he had no part in it, or he was just...
He was there.
He was just there, but he didn't have anything to do with any sexual acts towards you. It was strictly...
Yeah.
The woman is also...
So, first of all, I think it's notable, that you have a man and a woman there. So you got two people there, okay? Not just one, you got two. One's a woman, the other's a man. Now, in my experience of following lots and lots and lots of cases like this, the reason that you have a woman with a man is to get their guard down, to get them to like let you in, Think Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein, okay? That's like when there is an intimidation factor, a lot of times, again, that's why you have a woman there, just kind of notable. And they also led her into that admission. Listen to it again. Like they're like, so what you're saying is he was there, but he didn't do anything.
And agreeing that Jay-Z did not assault her.
But Jay-Z you're saying he was definitely there? But he had no part in it, or he was just...
He was there.
So he said that. She didn't say that. He said that. But he had no part in it? And she's like, yeah.
He was just there, but he didn't have anything to do with any sexual acts towards you. It was strictly...
Yeah.
So they said it. All she did is agree. Just for the record, if we're being clear about what this actually says, I'm not saying whether her accusation is true. I'm just pointing out. She did not give you some kind of long form story. They laid that out, and she just agreed.
The woman is also heard saying her lawyer put her up to suing one of the world's most recognizable stars.
He was the one that kind of pushed me towards going forward with him.
With Jay-Z? Busby did?
Yeah.
Do you know why?
No.
So that one, she absolutely did give a much longer, well, he's the one that kind of pushed me towards it. Tony Busby pushed me towards it. Now, you also got to keep in mind the background of how this all blew up in their face, right? It's like, so Busby files a lawsuit, or Busby goes to Jay-Z, threatens to file a lawsuit and says you can settle for whatever. And Jay-Z says, no, I'm not giving you any money for this. I have no idea who this person is. There's no way. I have nothing to do with this. I'm not doing it. And so... they call his bluff. They file the lawsuit, and without any shred of doubt, absolutely without any shred of doubt, there is no way that Busby would have ever agreed to allow this woman to do an interview on MSNBC. And yet she goes on MSNBC and does this interview where she gives all these details about her story publicly, which is so idiotic. It's beyond all comprehension why she would have done it, which is how I know for sure Tony Busby did not allow her to do it. She just did it on her own. And because Busby, then they can go and fact check all this stuff, which is exactly what they did. And they blew up her story publicly. Oh, wait, so your dad picked you up? Dad's like, I would have had to drive 10 hours to pick her up. I think I would have remembered that. Oh, Good Charlotte was there. You talked to the Good Charlotte guys. They go and look. Good Charlotte wasn't even at the show that day. Then she named some like tattoo on one of them. The guy doesn't even have that tattoo. Like every part of her story, any part you could have verified went the wrong direction for her, right? So this woman is clearly a very bad client, right? Or a co-conspirator, depending on how you look at what this is. I mean, any way you look at it, like this is a nightmare client for Busby.
ABC News exclusively obtained a minute-long excerpt of the recording made days after the woman, identified as Jane Doe, permanently dropped her lawsuit against both Carter and Combs last month.
The people around Mr. Carter wanted to know what happened behind closed doors.
This is Jay-Z's attorney. Very sharp guy, Alex Shapiro.
And so they asked for her to
I'm
be
sorry.
interviewed.
Alex Spiro, not Spiro. Alex Spiro.
The interview occurred, and the tape speaks for itself. She says, in no uncertain terms, Mr. Carter did not do this. It is effectively a lie. And the only reason Mr. Carter is even involved in this is because she was pushed to involve him, pushed to include him by a lawyer.
The accuser's lawyer, Tony Busby, called it a blatant lie that he pushed Jane Doe to sue Jay-Z, and he sent us this recording of a phone call with his client.
They say that they have you on tape denying that Jay-Z assaulted you. Is that true?
No.
Unbelievable.
I don't. I've never said that.
That's funny. Hey, talk about a really credible witness, guys, right? Real credible witness. They're all, I literally just heard you say that. No, I didn't say that. And they say, you're like, yeah, you fucking did, okay?
Okay. They also say that you told them, and they have it on tape, that I, Tony Busby, told you to came up with this plan and told you to say that Jay-Z assaulted you so you would get more money.
No.
Jane Doe.
She sounds very sure of herself when she is talking to Busby. You know what I mean? It's like, I would have... Unbelievable. I wouldn't have said that. You're like, yeah, you did. Like, so when you take all of this into account, I think the takeaway is that this is a very non-credible accuser, right? Bottom line. Like, you absolutely did say that. Because like, this is, when she's talking to Busby, she's talking to him afterwards, okay? So let's say hypothetically that you want to go with it's like, oh, well, they bullied her into saying that. All right. So obviously when you talk to Busby, you'd be like, listen, they were at my house. I was scared. Okay. So yeah, I said that because I was scared. Not just outright deny it. You know, like, why would you deny it? Just tell them that they bullied you into saying it. It's very bizarre.
Who said in a court filing, although I ultimately chose not to pursue them, I stand by my claims.
She says in a sworn declaration that she felt intimidated and terrified at being confronted by these two individuals on my doorstep. Was she coerced in any way?
Of course not. They did not coerce her, promise or threaten her in any way, shape, or form. She voluntarily met and spoke to them, and she told them her truth, which was, under no circumstances did Mr. Carter do this. And number two, the only reason he's even involved in this is she was pushed to introduce him by a lawyer.
Does your client...
Let me just say one thing about that. This, I personally don't know the law, and so I would love for anybody to tell me in the comments what the answer on this is, but clearly the person who is lying is the girl. She's a liar, obviously, because she's lying to everybody just in the little bit of recordings we have. Like, she's lying to both parties. So my opinion is that if she lied about the story and then Busby files a lawsuit and then they are like, you lied, and then they prove that she was lying, who is responsible for this? Let's say Busby didn't push her to do it. I still think it's Busby's responsibility, at a certain level, because he didn't even do anything to vet her story. Like, you filed this lawsuit and you did a bunch of press about it. If Busby wouldn't have done a bunch of public press about it, then that's one thing. If he just filed the lawsuit and then if the press finds out about it, whatever, but he did press conferences and stuff talking about the case. And he didn't do any research into whether or not it was true. So I don't know, right? But what I can say is there's no way you can find a judgment that Busby coerced her to do it when everything that she has said has you can't trust anything she says. So you also can't trust her saying, oh yeah, he pushed me into it. You're all, well, every other thing that you said is a lie. So why would we believe that he pushed you into it? You know, does that make sense?
No Jane Doe?
No.
Ever met her?
No, Mr. Carter doesn't know Jane Doe, never met Jane Doe. There's no truth to any of this.
Now listen to this, okay? This is unbelievable. We previously told you private investigators claimed they spoke with the anonymous woman who filed the suit against Jay-Z. Oh, so anonymous that they went to her home? Okay. With one of them, Charlotte Henderson, filing an affidavit last week stating she met with Jane Doe on February 21st, 2025 in the accuser's Alabama home. Henderson said she was not hired by Jay or his attorneys to perform this investigation. But Henderson didn't say who, if anyone, was paying her. Oh, just, some concerned party whose name rhymes with Eonce. Give me a fucking break. Do you think anybody believes that this was not Jay-Z that hired you to do this? Like, what kind of imbecile? Why would you deny that? Of course it's Jay-Z that hired them. A private investigator. Not Jay-Z or the attorney. Come on, dude. Like, give me a break. The lawsuit, which claimed Diddy drugged and raped her, was dropped in February. However, her dismissal, the woman says she stood by all the claims leveled in her suit. Jay-Z has filed a lawsuit against Jane Doe and Busby for defamation. We reached out to Tony Busby. He tells us the tape is a fraud. Well, that's not true. They tormented and harassed and tricked that poor woman and took what she said out of context and secretly recorded her. Now, that's possible. She stands by her claim that Jay-Z assaulted her. She has never wavered on that point once. Very possible that that's exactly what they did. But again, like a fraud versus they tricked her. Maybe it's the same thing, actually. I don't know. Maybe I'm splitting hairs here. Anyway, that's what I got for this video. Lots of other stuff coming. Appreciate you guys. And that's what we got. Love you guys. Subscribe to the channel. Ring the bell. Bye-bye.